Did I just start dancing? I did. Watch that. There's no auto dance here. What? There's no auto dance here. Why did I dance? Why did I dance? That's creepy. See if it happens again. There's no reason I should have danced. Canessa, are you taking over? You're probably gonna do a better job than me. So okay, that was weird, but wow. Hmm. Okay. Good morning, Wheezy. I gotta make sure I'm looking fancy before today. So gotta get the important stuff out of the way. All right, and I will just wait. We'll begin in a little bit. Hey, Fitty. Oh, there you are. I'm messing with my sound a little bit right now. I don't know. It's up to you. Argent was here last time. I don't mind if nobody does, if everybody does. Totally, you know, like don't feel like you have to. It's totally okay if you got to run or anything. Yeah, yeah. Argent was here. Yeah, I think, just if people want to come up. I know sometimes it's hard. People don't feel comfortable talking live, so that is totally understandable. And I just want to make it as comfortable to everybody, wherever they're at. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 And I mean, it's just hard. Like, I've tried learning Spanish in high school and college, and I have so much respect for people that are bilingual because I'm like, gosh, good thing good thing most people speak English, otherwise I'd be in big trouble. So, yeah. And I see Harmony. Hello, Harmony. Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you here today. I'm excited about what we're going to be looking at today. It's going to be a little different, but a really cool tool that is like mind blowing. So hopefully it's something that you guys can use. Yeah, it should be on. I believe it's going to be streamed to or like uploaded to the hackathon website. I also have like if you go to my X account, I streamed it on X, and so you can find it there. This is going to be a little bit of a repeat of yesterday, which I think there's people. Yeah, like there's not everybody was able to make it, and I'm gonna go over a few different things. So for people that weren't able to make it, this is gonna be like yesterday. But if you were there yesterday, hopefully it's still some new stuff. Good morning, more people coming in. Thank you everybody for being here. I know there's a lot of places you could be, and so I'm I appreciate that you're here. with, with all the options in the world, you're here. And I'm like so impressed with what people are showing me in DMs that they're building. Like I'm really glad. Let's see. Oh, somebody's calling me. Okay. Um, yeah, like it's really cool just to see what people are coming up with because, um, yeah, oh gosh, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Well, Toxic said something yesterday at Beyond the NFT that like really hit me. I was like, oh, and she was like, it's there's never been a better time to build in Decentraland. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Like you're totally right. It is easier. There's more people to ask for help. Like if you get stuck, there's CBD, there's the main Discord, there's people that are hired to help you, like Dr. Krillo, Mr. JS Stickle, like, oh yeah, yeah. We didn't we if you struggled in the past, Unfortunately, you were just going to struggle. So yeah, now the only thing we need is just the creativity to create the scenes that we want to make. And I think that the hackathon, by giving us a theme, it does force us to go after that content, which I think sometimes is nice because like as an artist, when you have a it's overwhelming to have like a blank canvas. Yeah. So it's nice to have that theme and then everybody is going to interpret it in their own way. And then after the hackathon, everybody can like, you can just go nuts with your own stuff. So I'm going to get us started. I'm going to bring us over here to the Creator Hub. Welcome, everybody. So glad to have you guys here today. Please, this is it's, my hope is that it's a small, welcoming, open class where everybody can ask questions. It's a little hard for me to see questions in world as I'm like going along. So if there is a question like that, just I'll see it at the end, definitely. Or you can jump into the CBD. We're in the CBD voice chat. You're welcome to come in and you do not have to talk. If you come into the voice chat, I know not everybody wants to ever speak and I totally respect that. But if you just want to come in and hang out with us, you're welcome to do that there. I'm also streaming on YouTube if you can't be here, and you can access this later. Yeah, so hi, I'm Kanessa. This week we are going to be diving into a tool that was just introduced as well. It was introduced during Art Week, and they are a partner or collaborator. I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but they are partnering with us for the hackathon, and they are giving away a $600 credit for their tools if for people. But let me back up. Let me back up. I'm going to get actually onto their site first. So I'm not, sometimes I'm like, I should be doing this differently. Okay, so this is CSM, and it stands for Common Sense Machines, and it is an AI software that basically can take your ideas and bring them to life. You can do it through adding like an image to 3D. You can take a photograph. You can take a drawing on a piece of paper. You can also use just say you can do an idea, so you can just tell it what you want, pretty much like a normal Chat GPT or something like that. So this is a really powerful tool to use. So if you are doing the hackathon, today Toxic is going to get us the code for a discount on this. Right now they have a 50% discount on their site, but she's got a code for 95% off, which when I went to pay for this, it was $200 on my PayPal that I was paying for it. And I hit the code and it's like, now you owe $10. So it is $10 for a year for this. And then if you, the reward award for whoever uses a CSM asset in the most creative way. It's a $600 credit to CSM. So you get it for cheap. You get that. It's just like a win-win. And so yesterday I did the small class for the for the hackathon, and so if you're there, I know it is repetitive to come back and like, okay, she's talking about it again, but I think that like this is powerful enough to be that crazy about it. I did some stuff last night that like it literally brought me to tears. Like integrating this with history, like taking actual photographs from history and not just seeing it, but like I can go walk into that moment of history. Like I think I'm still trying to process that and how I'm going to utilize it. So it's pretty unreal. So today that code will come out. We don't have it yet. You do have to be signed up for the hackathon to get it. And then once you do, yeah, we'll be cooking. So I do want to keep things simple and use this and put it into either a one-piece parcel or a world. As always, it's challenging to build on a one-piece parcel, but it is possible with this. Let's see. So yeah, so let's get started. I think the way that I've used it the most is just chat to 3D. So if you're used to any kind of like prompting software, it's just like that. You're just gonna tell it what to do. I actually use like AI a lot for coming up with ideas. So like if you want to do the hackathon, you're like, yes, I want to. I know the theme is spooky. I have no idea what to do. Um, this is a great way to kind of be like, all right, I don't know. Can you give me ideas I could build in the metaverse for that are spooky? Let's just see what it comes up with. Because what I failed to generate the image. Okay, maybe I was too many details. Let's see. Spooky metaverse build. Let's just see what it Metaverse. Don't you love it when it autocorrects? Spooky metaverse build. So let's just see what AI thinks. Sometimes when I like know I want to have something, like when I was building the cantina, um, I know I want something, but I just don't 100% know what it's going to look like. I might just start putting in prompts and like this, okay, this is cool, the shadow blind estate. Um, that's awesome. And but is it what I want? I don't know. Maybe I'll say, can you add a spooky garden around it? I am I am leading it to somewhere. I do want it to like try to get to a certain place. Because I'm thinking like I watched Haunted Mansion last night. That ride at Disneyland is so good. Okay, kind of has a garden around it. Let's see. Can you make it more playful, more whimsical? Okay, because like Tim Burton has some pretty awesome, like, I don't know, kookiness that I think just makes it fun. So for the hackathon, I'm thinking you could have like a haunted. Oh yeah, oh yeah, look at that! Holy moly, that's like the best one they've given me yet. Okay, that's cool. I love the smoke coming out of the chimney and the ghosts. It's a little too happy for me. I kind of want to mess it up a little bit, but it's good. Like I'm gonna stick with this. So once I have my prompt, all I have to do is now go down to image to 3D because this is a just a picture. It's just a 2D picture. And then I'm going to generate a 3D mesh. And what it does is open a session for you. And you can see how many like things I have probably open on my up above. Like, oh my gosh, I have so many tabs open. There we go. This part of the process, it takes a little bit of time, and the more complex that your scene is, the more time it's going to take just to get it going. So I don't want to sit here and wait 5 minutes for it to get going. I want to kind of keep us moving in a different direction. So I'm going to go back to the chat, and I'm thinking. I'm trying to think each week of what is something we could make that would that we could finish in a week and that it would be fun and useful. So the first week we kind of made a building that could be a club, it could be an art gallery. Last week we made a parkour. This week I kind of want to make like a maze. I think a maze is it would be a really easy way for people to participate in the hackathon. Like you can fill it with spooky stuff. You can, I mean, you could, the sky is a limit. If you had the maze to start building with, then your mind can fill it with like whatever theme you're going to go with. So how do I get a maze that I could have in Decentraland? I'm going to ask it, can you make a maze that is, I'm going to try to keep it on one parcel. So we'll see if I can do this. 16 meters wide and spooky brick walls. So I'm not even writing in, full full sentences. I'm gonna see what it does. Sometimes it doesn't lead, it's not going the way you want it to. Oh yeah, see that? That's just like a picture of it. Okay. I'm gonna can you show me the whole maze because I can't see the whole thing. I don't know if it gave me the whole maze. It may have, but if I tried to turn that into a 3D asset, it's probably just going to make that part of it. No, it didn't make the whole thing. All right. So at this point, I'm thinking my chat, or like the way I'm asking, I don't know, I think I need to start a new chat. It just kind of erases what you asked for. I think it resets my brain. So now I need to ask in a different way. So I'm going to say a maze. I'm not going to fill it with all that other, politeness. A maze with brick walls that is 16 meters wide. Let's just see what happens. I think if you haven't used AI before, like, you do kind of have to learn how to ask for the right thing. Okay, again, I'm in the maze. Yeah, last time I tried this, it worked. Okay, let's see. Can you show it to me from a top-down approach? And let's see what happens. Okay. No, there we go. I mean, it's a maze that Kanessa could get out of, you know? Like I could I could get out of this, I think. I probably would still stub my toe and end up over here. So, but hey, for this level, that's fine. I think it doesn't like my prompt today, so I'm going to, for the sake of like not sitting here and trying to figure out all these prompts, I'm going to take you to one that did work today, and that is this one. So my prompt for this was, can you make me a small maze made from brick walls that would fit in a 16-meter space? Okay, so that prompt was obviously that was better. So when I came up with this, I actually did continue to prompt it. I said, can you try again? And so sometimes it doesn't give me the changes I wish that it gave me on some other AI software that I use. I would say the changes are much more radical. So this one I said, can you make it larger, 100 meters by 100 meters? It kind of did. And then I was like, oh, let's get creative. Can you make it, can you make a maze that's 800 meters by 800 meters and make it in the shape of a ghost? And so at this point, it's kind of got that ghost-like flair. But what I want to do is keep this original one. I did work ahead because of the time. You can see it's still generating the first haunted house that we created. So it does take some time. I don't want us to sit here, waste our time just waiting for that. So this is the maze this morning that I created, and it is rendered in 3D. So this is like, if you wanted to do a maze for the hackathon, you could just do this and like, here it is. It's pretty easy. And the work is done for you. Like, it's really cool. Like the texturing is pretty nice. There's some, like, if it was a real maze, I think I'd want it to be like where you can access some of this. So there are still some areas where I'd want to modify it. But yeah, like, just to start, this is good to work with. So what I want to do is just download it, download the GLB. I'm going to call it maze. And then I'm going to go back over to the Creator Hub. And we're just going to import this to, still learning all that, import it into our scene. So I'm going to start with a new scene, empty scene. Let's call this one Maze of Doom. Why not? It's maybe a little over dramatic for a tiny maze. For some reason, I've noticed I've had to click that create button twice lately. The Creator Hub, it's got a couple little quirks, which it always does, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like us. Like, I'm not 100% either if I don't have my coffee. The Maze of Love. That would be awesome. And you could make it all nice and then have like the zombie bride or something. Okay, here we are. So kind of, the way, if you've been here for the other ones, you kind of know how I like to work. I'm going to go throw the Genesis City grass in it right away. And for some reason, I have to drag these twice. I'm going to put the grass in. Normally, I would probably, take some asset here and I would lift it up so that I can see the very top of the scene. That's where the top of the scene is. Okay. But today, I don't even need to go high. I'm not looking to get high today, guys. So I'm just going to delete that. I know I'm just going to stay on the bottom down here. So I've got my scene, I've got my world, and this is the first time that we're going to be bringing in an asset from outside of the creator hub. So far last week and the week before we stayed in the creator hub. And then we did that on purpose. Like I don't want to take us to Blender anywhere until I know we can find our way back. Because once you get overwhelmed, it takes the fun out of it. So here we go, guys. We're going to try something different. We're going to go import assets. And then this is really where all the magic comes from that isn't in the Creator Hub. Like you're going to be importing assets all the time. So this is like the magic button. And it's crazy how easy it is. Actually, Blender, there's just a few more steps. So with the CSM, it's shockingly easy. So I grab my asset, the maze. I'm going to bring it in, but then you're like, okay, where is it? I don't get it. I don't know. So you just have to go over here to models. And sometimes I'm like, wait, I don't see it. I don't see it. People, people that watch this probably are like, gosh, Vanessa, like you struggle finding this, but I do. So here it is. You've got the little like dope sheet, name, but then you also have it here, which is really nice. When you have like 100 assets, you're like, okay, where is it? And then once you import it, it is going to stay in here until you delete it. So like you can see the carpet that I used just now to kind of test out. It's still there, even though it's not on my sheet over here. So, for that one, I could just right click, delete it. It doesn't matter. It's not, to my understanding, it's not hurting anything being there. I'm guessing maybe it's still using up some kind of memory. So, maybe don't want it there all the time, but okay. Then when you're ready, left click, drag your maze in, and then you can do a little Zoolander. Like, what is this? A maze? A maze for ants? I'm sorry, but I do that every single time I import something from CSM. I do my little Zoolander voice. So when you bring it in, it does bring it in really small. But just because it's small does not mean it's not mighty. I will tell you right now, we have already blown up the triangle limitations. This little sucker has 75,000 triangles, and our scene limit is 10,000. So if Decentraland had not relaxed these limitations, this would not work. And I really think they can never go back and like tighten up their restrictions if we all start building with this stuff in here. Like I tested it. I had like millions and millions of triangles on this one parcel scene. So yeah, so don't let size fool you. It's a big asset. Also, watch out. Like I noticed on my computer, my storage space is like almost maxed out because of the assets that I downloaded yesterday. Because I was like, what did I do? Like, is that video? And then I realized, oh, okay, I've got these enormous assets that are taking up space. So just be mindful of that. That they are big files. You can reduce them. I haven't done that too much just because I haven't needed to. Yeah, but anyway, really interesting to dive in. So let's make this bigger because we want to have it like a maze that we can walk through. Now this is not a complex maze. I think Vanessa could still find her way out of it. I don't know. Sometimes I'm challenged. Okay, so I could keep going. I could make it like, here we go, the entire parcel. It would not be very exciting to make it like start and end that quick. So what I'm wondering is if I can use this as an asset where I repeat the pattern, and so therefore I'm making a bigger maze. I don't know if my avatar could see over the edge right now. I mean, even though I know this is a one piece parcel, I still don't know, like, how high is my avatar compared to all this? And so sometimes what I like to do is go back to the asset pack, get something that you can compare an avatar to. Like a bicycle is such a good one, because everybody kind of knows, like, all right, if I'm gonna stand on that bike, I know, my avatar is about this big. So according to that, this probably would work. And you know, if I jump over, if I like look over the side, I could cheat a little bit to find my way out, and that would be okay. So I'm gonna delete the bike. I'm gonna just think, okay, this is good proportions. I'm gonna go with it, and now I'm gonna see if I can get this to match up. I'm gonna duplicate it. I'm gonna go over here, and then let's see if I could try to get that door to align with that one, and I can. So, oh, and you know what? I kind of like, see, I have to click on something to get it off of that. I don't know, like the highlight. Kind of like having, it is kind of nice to have a little asset on your scene. I know this is probably like stupid, but if I have this highlighted and I kind of want to have a clear view and I don't want either of those highlighted, I can just click on some random object I'll delete later, and then I don't have those on there. So, okay, so I have a maze that just got a little bit more complicated because I doubled it. Um, and I could go back to CSM and ask it to do even more prompting, change the layout a little bit, and have more. Let's see. I'm going to duplicate this again. Let's see if we can do more. So you could really have like 2 or 3 of these patterns and build out like an entire maze based on those. All right. So, I mean, your viewers are going to probably know, they're going to like figure it out, like, oh, you just repeated the same thing over and over again. But yeah, like if I had to walk through that and I didn't know ahead of time, I'd be like, all right, you could walk through here. It's not super complex, so I bet you could just find your way out really quick. But for the sake of today, let's say for the hackathon you have a haunted mansion, and this is like spread out in front of it, and you have to make your way out through the maze, kind of like Labyrinth, if anybody's a 80s baby, and this would be so fun. It actually looks like it says like GG or something in here. So you like, if your theme, let's say your theme is like, I don't know, Shiba dogs for the Sheep coin, like you could ask the AI to make it in the shape of like that, or you could say, can you put the word Decentraland in it? A lot of different things that you could make happen. So, all right. So our little bike down here, if you walk up to the bike, if your avatar walks up to it, it's going to stop when it hits it, because all the assets that are from the Decentraland builder have colliders built in. So, I mean, I think there's a few maybe that don't, because it's appropriate not to, but most of them do. Like where it's appropriate, they do. For things like screens, I think they aren't there, so you have to add them. With CSM, you do have to add the colliders. Otherwise, if I deployed this right now, you're going to walk right through it. And so let's see. I'm going to make sure I'm doing this in the right way. I had to ask last stream yesterday because I forgot how to do it. But over here on the right side, like make sure your item is selected, and you want to do visible layer, go down to physics and pointer, and then the invisible layer, leave it on none. So that right there should allow my avatar, like when you walk into it, definitely want a collider in a maze. Actually, it'd be funny. Oh, it'd be funny to make a maze like this, but leave one section with no colliders. But train your people, like maybe the first half of the maze all has colliders, and then they get to the second half and they're walking really carefully because they know there's colliders, and then all of a sudden they realize, oh, I could just like run right through the maze. So if I ever make a maze, you guys, you know that's going to happen. All right, so this one is done. Visible layer, physics and pointer. Visible layer, physics and pointer. I'm just going to go like this. Visible layer, physics and pointer. It's kind of nice when you do it a bunch of times, because repetition builds familiarity. Okay, invisible layer none, invisible layer none, invisible layer none. Okay, so there you have it. I think I'm gonna leave the bike. I think it's kind. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Like since this is spooky, I'm gonna leave the bike, but I'm gonna make it like somebody was going into the maze and their bike dropped, and I don't know why there's a bike lying there. It's kind of creepy. Are there any toys in the asset pack? That would be even worse, is to leave like a little kid's toy. I did talk yesterday in my class about like the concept of uncanny valley and like creating fear by giving your viewers something familiar and something really like wrong. So like like I had a giant syringe sticking out of a donut. All right, so there's no toys. I won't get too creepy. So there we go. That is the scene that I've got for now. It looks like nothing goes outside of the boundaries. We're behaving so well, except for our triangles. We're at like 228,000 triangles, which I think if you were going to behave by the rules, that would be like a 22 parcel estate. So it's insane. We can do this. All right, I'm going to hit publish. I'm going to publish to land, and I'm going to go right up here behind the cantina, publish it. Still going to take 15 minutes to upload that, but hopefully we have time to run. Yeah, we'll have time to run through it at the end. Da-da-da. Yeah, this is it's been so cool just to kind of like imagine all the things that could be done with this software, the new triangle limitations. Like, it's insane. All right, so I'm going to go back over to Common Sense Machine, CSM. There's my model. Let's see if our house model that we started at the beginning is done. Remember, we were kind of looking for something that was, I don't know, like, I like it a little whimsical. I actually really don't like fear. I don't watch horror movies. Like, reality is too scary. I don't need more fear. I'm from Wisconsin. There's a lot of, yeah, bad things that happen there. So, here it is. What's that? Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think based on people's life experiences, like I had some bad things happen in the like in my area when I was a kid, and so like I've never felt the need to add things that were scary. Like I sadly learned at a really small age that like people do really horrible things to each other. And so like I've never yeah, like that like gore doesn't scare me, but what does scare me is or like what makes me like, ooh, that would be cool is like more cerebral, like mind games. Like, okay, um yeah, like yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, like show, don't tell. Like don't tell me it's scary, tell me it's safe. Tell me everything's fine and then leave like a syringe on the counter and that's going to absolutely hijack my nervous system and confuse my brain. Um yeah, but you know everybody's different. Some people love the dopamine or the maybe the cortisol hit that they get from watching scary movies. Okay, so here we go. After that much time, we have our estate. I'm not 100% happy with how it took off the bottom. So I can say, how's the mesh? I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. I don't think it's not bad, but I think that I wanted a little bit more completion on the house. Um, so what I could do is go back to the prompt and I could say, make the house complete. Like make the house 2 stories tall, or just I could add more details to kind of finish up that house. I'll show you some other examples too. This is actually Yeah, most of the other examples were like really spot on. I'm thinking because it's dark, maybe the software didn't, it couldn't pick up like the kind of the contrast. And so maybe that's also something that people could add into their prompt, like add contrast. And just to give you an example, I'll show you, um, oh, like this donut one turned out, I think, really well. And I didn't say add contrast, but it just, so this is what I mean. Like, this is spooky for me. This is like Kness's idea of like horror. It's just a donut with like a happy, happy eyes. But this one translated really well to the model. Like, it's colorful, it's bright. It did lose a little bit of detail on the face. However, I would say actually like seeing the end in world. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the one I deployed in world. It's actually way scarier. Um, Also, when you import this, it's a little darker than what you're seeing here. See, I like it, kind of looks like there's frosting and stuff. Um, if anybody does want to see this deployed, I'll put it in here. It is at kinessa.dcl.eth, and all of the assets that we made yesterday in the class, I put them in that world. So yeah, as Tox said, it's ready to go. It is like totally ready for the hackathon. I'm not doing it for the hackathon, but it's got a bunch of different examples. So you're welcome to check that out. Just don't let the donut monster get you. Make sure you remember to come back. But here's some other examples. Like this one, oh, I started thinking, oh, what's worse than like a haunted house? Like, what about a gingerbread haunted house? Like, actually, isn't the story of Hansel and Gretel so messed up that they're like, yes, go into the woods, this witch is going to eat you? Like, I mean, I know what they were probably trying to keep their kids out of the woods so they wouldn't get eaten by wolves, but that's kind of a messed up story. Um, but I did put this here, free candy for good boys and girls. And then it turned out to create this asset, which really looks awesome in world. So you can see like this one has a lot more contrast in the color. In CSM, if I was like, ooh, this is cool, but instead of making it, candy canes that's like Christmassy, I want these to be purple. You can go in and recolor, like touch this up. I could also go through like retopology, which I think I haven't done too much of that. And you can also animate it, but when I animated it, it made it walk like a human. So I was like, oh, okay, let me think about this a little bit more. Here's another one that was inspired by Tim Burton, and where's the model for that one? I don't usually, well, it does it in chronological order. So like if I made the picture for this one, and then I kept working on other stuff, and then I come back and turn this into the 3D image, it pushes it up. So I have to like look for that. This one I think is maybe one of the most profound and exciting I like aha moments. So like this is I just was doodling. I was like, all right, can it like make something that I doodle on paper? So I just drew this like a minute and I was like, what, can it pick up the curvature of the like the top? Can it like does it see this? Does it see that? Like what will it do with this information? You can see like there's a porch. I have like a support here, but I didn't finish it by any means. I like did a little bit of like back and forth to indicate, hey, this is a brick tower. That's it. And this is what is like amazing. Look at what it came up with. Like it literally finished the porch for me. It kind of knew, okay, this is brick, so it repeated that pattern. It got the curvature actually like so nice. And it turned the arch of the doorway with the windows like unintentionally it gave the house character and it turned it into a face, which is like even better. And I am very anthropomorphic. I see, yeah, I like talk to my animals, and only when I'm hot mic'd and like 40 people listening in the Discord. But yes, I'm very much like anthropomorphic. So I'm like, this house, it's alive. And I actually think it's almost kind of cool, like in a creepy way, if you made an entire Halloween village that was like paper. like, and you could walk through it, but everything is just made out of paper. Like, you know, those movies where the kid draws cool images and then like they come to life. Um, that would be such a cool thing for people to do. So this one, when I think I just deployed over it, it was on the parcel that I deployed to. So it is not in Decentraland. But this one has like so much potential. I'm like, yeah, this is like we got to explore this further. I think it's really cool. Okay. And then yeah, just with the AI getting in here, making ideas, you can still see the prompt. This is one I did 2 days ago, but the prompt is still there, so I can go back at any time and just start like, just where I left off, which I think is really cool. This one I love how it was looking cool with these spiralies. And then I was like a bridge, and it made this cool bridge. And then I was like taller, skinnier. Like, yeah, I really like this one. And so that is also deployed. If you go into canessa.dcl.eth, you can go take a look at it there. Um, all right. I feel like we were waiting for something. Were we waiting for something to render? No, I think we got all of those. Okay. I talked a little bit about a maze. And like, I tried making it large scale because if you are doing something for the hackathon, this would be so easy to do, even if it's not like a maze, like if it's just accenting your land, but maybe you want to have a maze. Um, it does, it made this, which then I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks like a wolf face, or it looks like there's a skull in there. I don't know that it quite made the ghost that I wanted it to. But if I look carefully, it is a 3D maze. In some places, like right here, you can see it didn't get the cut in. If you're familiar with Blender, you could go in and like cut walls out all over the place. You could just make little, make it a really, really complex maze. But as it is, this one actually is like totally ready to deploy in a DCL world. I think there's no entrance to it and there's no exit. Haha. It's like Haunted Mansion. You entered a room with no windows and no doors. Uh, yes, there are people that have the whole thing memorized and say it when they go to the ride. So, I might try to deploy this. So I'm going to download GLB, and then I'm going to call this Ghost Maze. And let's see if we can put that into a DCL world. We're kind of, got 20 minutes left. I do like keeping these short enough that somebody can just like, join and it's not, you know, hours and hours. Oh, okay, okay. I'm back at the Creator Hub and I have a failure notice. Deployment to the Catalyst nodes failed. Please retry or check your internet connection. I got this yesterday. I guess I thought it was fixed yesterday. At least I was told that this is because of the Amazon Web Service outage. Um, so you know what? It is what it is. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. I'm just gonna try again. I'm not having a party. Like there's no time crunch. If there was, I probably would not be so blasé about it. But we'll see if this works. And if not, we'll get it published at some other time. Let's see. Yes, maybe uploading. It might also just be one of those quirky things. I was also wondering if it's the level of triangles. Like possibly they're like, no, honey, 250,000 tries on one parcel of land. It's not happening. And then I'm also worried because this is right by Cantina. Like, am I gonna how badly is this going to break the other parcels around it? And so I'm trying to experiment a little bit with of that because I don't want to be that neighbor that's putting in, 250,000 triangles. All right, but let's just assume that that's going to work. Come back to our scene, but I want to add that ginormous ghost themed one. So I'm going to go back out of here. I'm going to create, oh, should I make a new scene or should I just add it to these guys? Maybe I'll add it. So I'm going to go into what I'm calling my donut scene. Um, Yeah. Well, I and I'll see because I'll kind of push. I'll push the limitations and see if it. I want to know like if it's gonna work or not. And even this is a gigantic world scene. Um, so I'm assuming everybody kind of has a little bit of familiarity with like the ability to build really big in DCL worlds, but I'm also just going to explain it really quick. Um, I made this on a lot of parcels of land, and I can see what it looks like just by clicking, making sure I'm on scene, and then over here, the layout. And so I made this on 100 parcels of land, and I don't have 100 parcels like this to deploy on in Decentraland. But what I can do is deploy it on a name. Like I have a minted DCL name, so I can mint it in my world. And the limitations are quite large. So I want to make this, actually, let's make this like, I don't know, let's just double it. No, I don't want to make it that way. I want to make it like there's a courtyard where you're walking in. There we go. All right. So now, oh, see what happened? I made it and it's behind me. So this is why, like I said in the first class, make sure you know the direction you're going. Because even though I know north, south, east, west, in order to get all of the houses and everything from my scene over to this blank spot, I would have to move them all. I mean, I could just click on them and that could be pretty quick. But um, yeah, just like I guess in my brain, I was thinking that the maze would be over here. So no worries. We're going to put the maze over here. And just to remember to import your assets over here. And what did I call this one? I called this one Ghost Maze. Ghost Maze, that's kind of a cool name. Like Ghost Phase, but like Ghost Maze. So if anybody wants to mint that, you could have your world could be called Ghost Maze, and then you've got your Ghost Maze in there. All right, so over here on the left, um, you can see on this build how I have way more models than the other one because this is what I was working in yesterday. Ghost Maze, I'm throwing that in there, and I'm going to be like, wait, it didn't work. But it did. It's just super tiny because this is such a big scene. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to start expanding. I could also use the transform tool over here, but I don't know. I just feel like this works because then I can get it exactly the space I want. I can also make it taller if there's not enough height in this maze. I could make the walls of it bigger. All right. This one is really cool. I think that's a cool size. All right. Now let's see. Since there's no clear entrance or exit, which I think is awesome actually. I don't put it past me to make a maze and have invite everybody to my maze, but there's no way out. That I would totally do that. I do see the way the model is, there's a little low spot over here. So what I might do is make like make a way to get in. And if I could, I'd put I can like put a sign that says free candy, or actually no, free NFTs. That would be even better. But I'm gonna look up. I want to have like stairs. And so just a reminder, if you're working in the Creator Hub, you can use this at any time just to search something up. And I'm going to find these wooden dock stairs because I think those are kind of like creepy. Oh my gosh. And it's at this point that I realize how giant I made this. So again, like um, having that little bike on my scene. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at that. So, like this is where I'm like, you might be building here a lot and still do things like this where you're like, yeah, I made it. I think it's good for an avatar. And then you realize, oh my gosh, no, I'm way off. And so I am probably going to make this a little bit bigger. Um, but yeah, this thing is way too big. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good way. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good one too. Yeah. Yeah, anything like that. There's also like buildings in the asset packs that you could use. You could use the grill, so you could always have a place where Jim Cedric can come and grill for you. I think this is probably, I mean, this is definitely gonna work. There we go. So I have a way in. I don't have a way out. Um, there we go. And to stick with the theme, I'm going to drop the bike down. Why? Because I don't know. It's some kid. I should make like a balloon right here too, or something, or like Jimmy's balloon. Oh, I didn't mean that towards you, Jim Cedric. I do not wish ill upon you. Okay, so this guy has a collider, but this one does not. So we've got to make sure we go in, visible layer, physics and pointer, invisible layer, none. So that should work. Um, so what I'm thinking, like, if I'm not doing the hackathon with this scene, this is just testing, but like, it would be really cool if I took this shape and replicated it and like put it all around. Like you have to walk through the maze before you even get to it. Like that would be really cool. Um, or oh my gosh, there's so many ways that you could do this. And I have made mazes in the Creator Hub before, and it's just a lot of tedious placing of little structures. Um, if you were going to do this, you could also, okay, here we go. I know what we'll do. I already have all of the models that I have on this side are, they're all loaded in here. Um, local assets, custom assets. No. All right. Sometimes I wish this was bigger. So I already have, what do I want to put? Probably like the clown. There's a real happy clown that I made. And so I'm gonna make him a little bit bigger and put him in the scene. So through vibe coding, I could probably say now, like put this in here, and then say with like the clown upon click, make evil laugh, drops candy or something. Like maybe you have to go find the clown, walk up to it, and like click him in order to get to the next part. Or maybe he like offers a clue, or maybe he's like walking through the scene, and if you come up to him, he like gets you. And CSM, I want to say CSI, I do feel like a crime scene investigator, but CSM, it does allow you to add a walk cycle to him and then export that too. So um, I'm going to see if we can publish. I'm guessing. Oops. Oh my gosh, look at this comparison. Ah, all right. This is the land, just FYI. See if you can see that. That's the land that Metacoven owns, the guy that bought the Beeple NFT. So this is like having 3 times as much land as him. But I'm going to publish this to a world. I'm going to try to publish it to this one. And it does say that Maze of Doom has been published successfully, so maybe that error that we got is just some kind of little like snafu. Who knows? All right, so we'll try to load this one. I do want to go over to CSM. So everybody, y'all get in on this because this is such a good resource to have. I think the ability to build all this. Ooh, it's doing something funky. Let's see. I want to find that clown and show you just briefly like the animation that you can do here. You can, change it around, add different colors, but you can also do this right here, AI animate. And then you can, oh my gosh, look at what you can do. Running, dash forward with speed and energy. Oh, jumping, punching. Oh, what about waving? He's a, oh, and I can click on all of these. Look at that. So maybe I want, well, I definitely want, I'm gonna, for the sake of doing it fast, because it takes this, also, it's gonna take some time to do. Um, I'm just gonna do punching. So in your hackathon games or whatever you're gonna do, like having like a main, having like your characters, having NPCs, or like having a boss. Like if this is your boss character at the end and you have to fight him, like oh my gosh, count me out. I'm not fighting a clown. I'm I'm smarter than that. But it's really helpful to have these because you like for me and my idea for it's not really like for the escape room. It's kind of it's a project I've been trying to work on for a while. Like this is a face and hair that Doki made for me years ago. This is a character I have in mind. I have like a whole backstory behind her, and so she was going to be my NPC in my escape room, where you come to her and she is the person that you talk to get to the next part. And she's like, "Oh, were you followed? Okay, here's what you got to do. You got to go do this, and this." So this is a really good way of like breaking down her and getting her into like a GLB that you can, animate, kind of like the avatar from Decentraland. However, this is still a work in progress. And so like what's scarier than anything else is watching CSM try to animate her. And so this is actually horrifying. Took my beautiful, beautiful character and did this. So what you can do then if you get to this point and you're like, that's not my girl. Like you can go back in and mess with the face. I think it's hard to take a Doki face and put it through this and then find the Doki face on the other side. Like Doki's assets are amazing. And so in this feature, in this model, what you can do with your NPCs or whatever it is, if it's your big boss, you can actually export them as a kit. So what we've been doing right now is just taking pretty much one asset and exporting it. But you can also break it down into the parts and pieces of that asset. So like when I did that with this character, I got the body as a separate asset. I got the hair. This is like the crazy part, you guys. Like this is mind blowing. This is the hair that CSM saw on my avatar. And if you looked at the original Doki GLB, you'd be like, oh my gosh, this just took Doki's hair and turned it into something I can download. Before everybody gets excited about like, wow, we can just make wearables. This is 100,000 triangles, and I believe it's 3,000 for a hair. So if somebody were to do that, they would just have to like reduce it by 997,000 triangles. So it's not like a save all, but it is pretty insane. Here's the wearable that the computer sees her as wearing, and the shoes and everything. And just to compare, I also did just a picture of myself, Canessa. Same thing. It broke the pieces down. It saw the hair. So when it does a kit, it gives you two images. It gives you the image that you see over here on white. Then right above that will be the GLB associated with that. So there's the windswept hair. It didn't finish it in the back, so I could go tell CSM like, hey, finish it. Make sure you see it in the back. But yeah, as far as like creating wearables for your avatars, I think this is absolutely insane. This one especially, for me to see the wearable that I commissioned somebody to make, and here's the thumbnail, and here's the GLB. I'm like, what is happening, guys? But then here's the other cool thing about this. Look at it, actually created the background that is in my scene. Like it tried and very effectively made the background that you see in Decentraland. It even made the water. Like I was expecting it to do the avatar. I did not expect it to be like, oh, here, we'll make you a cloud. But like now if I wanted to make a really puffy, cloudy skies, or like, like actually it looks like suds, like bubbles. Um, it to me, this just revolutionizes everything that we're doing here and completely changes it. Um, for anybody that was at the class yesterday, I asked Toxic, I was like, give me a picture of you. And she was like, do you want like a green background? I was like, no, give me the background because I want to see what it does. So here's Toxic, and look at what it picked up. It actually decided she was in front of a stage, which she is, but it like finished the idea. Like, okay, this is where she is. And now all of a sudden you have a stage. Like, you could put this in your build and boom, like you already have a stage. Her hair, again, I think this is a Doki hair. The hair, it came up. Actually, I don't know why I didn't have a picture with that one. It's kind of funny. Her shoes that I feel like are kind of toxic, signature shoes. Um, even oh my gosh, like look at it. That is not visible in the picture, but the AI finished it for it. But then this one, oh my gosh, it replicated her laptop. So let's say you want to have like an escape room and you're like, okay, go type in the chords on the keyboard and then it goes from there. So this ability to do this with it's called kits right here. So image to kit, I think is like mind blowing. I hope people don't abuse it and like, okay, I'm gonna take Doki's GLB of a hair and I'm gonna like retopologize it into a lower triangle. Like, I mean, I guess if you can do that, you probably could be making your own mesh. But for boss characters, NPCs, like maybe like guys, like if you have a little sketchbook of all the bad guys that you made when you were like 9 years old, scan those in here and bring you know bring little used dreams to life, guys. This is really, really, really cool. um I I did, yeah, like I some of the other things that I did, like it's just mind blowing. Like I actually took historical photographs. This is the part where I was tearing up last night. Like um this means so much to me, but like I took a historical photograph. This is a blimp or a zeppelin or a dirigible from World War I, and they used them as scouts because they were silent. They could put them up above, and the enemies could not hear them. And I ran that through, and I actually got this one's not super accurate, but I can take now historical photographs and turn them into 3D assets that, like, instead of just seeing this moment in time, you're actually there. And this is the one that just like guts me. This is a photograph of two people in World War I, like installing barbed wire in no man's land in France. And I can take that now and through CSM, like these people, like they actually, in my opinion, are that much closer to coming to life. So if I was going to make like a museum where you walk through and instead of just looking at a picture on the wall, you can walk right through here, and through animating them, I can get their hands to be like, messing with the barbed wire. So that, like to me, and what I think we should be doing here in Decentraland is much bigger than like the day-to-day parties. Like I think that we have the chance to bring history to life and bring experiences to life in ways that like we can't even fathom. And so these right here are like they're my aha moments of like, what can we do with this stuff that really changes the way that we interact with history, with everything. Let's see. Okay, we're at 10 o'clock. We are pretty much, probably at a point I should wrap up. I do want to make one more thing that I think is really, really important, and that is how to make a texture that you could bring into your world, because this is something I've used so much. And so, like, if anybody was at the Mardi Gras scene, all of those textures that I had, all of the pictures, and like Jim Cedric, I made him a bar that was Jim and Tonic. Jim and Tonic. And then Mary Shark had her little bar called the Bloody Mary Shark. And Master Wayne's had a bookstore. All of that I made with AI because, I'm not that good at Photoshop. So what I want to do real quick is make something that's like a background. Let's see, what could we do? Like yesterday I did a brick wall. I want to do something different. Oh, what about like a fancy hotel, like fancy vintage hotel. Um, no, I don't want to say hotel because that's gonna make me a hotel. Fancy vintage scarlet curtain. Let's see if that brings up something. I want to have like a backdrop or something that could be on the wall, or maybe I should be saying wallpaper. Um, Sometimes you have an idea of what it's going to be. No, okay. I'm going to start again. Let's see. Red vintage wallpaper. And it might be I mean, vintage is technically, I think 20 years ago. So like, yeah, it might be thinking something totally different, but this is good. Let's make this work. So with this, I'm not going to convert it. I'm just going to take it as is because it's just going to be a flat texture. I'm going to download that into wallpaper. And then I'm going to jump over to my Creator Hub. Publish. Did I publish? Okay. Publish that. All right. This is, I think, I mean, because I've used it so much, this is like, for me, a really, really, really important building tool. And that's just to be able to like customize what you're doing. Normally I would do it using a method in Blender, but for this, and there might be a more efficient way to do it, but this is the way I have found that it works. If you go into asset packs and then smart items, I wish this was bigger. There's always messing with it up and down. Go into image and drag that in. There is something funky with the images lately. Like, see how you don't see it on the scene? And I know I'm way zoomed out, but this happened a few times yesterday. So like, if you do that, you can't find the image. You go over here, like I'm clicking on the clown. I see I'm highlighting the clown. Clicking on the bicycle, I'm highlighting the bicycle, and I click on my image. Okay, and it highlights it, but I don't see it. Okay? The thing that I found that fixes that is just leave the scene and come back in. In the Creator Hub, I'd say 99% of the time, if something doesn't work, just leave it and come back. And I don't know, like for whatever reason, sometimes it just gets like hung up and I just can't. It's like me at, if I don't have coffee, it's like I can't do it. So when I came back, there it is. There's the image. And it does have this funky thing about it puts, I think I raised it up already. It'll put the image like halfway through the floor. So one time I was like, oh no, it's like stretching it. And I just needed to lift it up. Okay, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just so I can see it. And then all I have to do is go into the path, find the, what did I call it? Wallpaper, bring that in. And now I have a cool wallpaper texture that, like, let's say I am making a haunted house. This could be on the side of the wall. This could be, it could, like when I imported, if I do brick, let's do the brick that I made yesterday. Well, now I have a brick wall. And so I can use this to like color my area. You don't have to know anything about Blender and like meshes and textures and materials. Like, I don't know that it might not look as detailed as if you did it that way. Like, I still have to play around with the resolution. Like, if you make it giant, it's probably going to look all pixelated. But for people right now, like if you want to go with a specific theme, like maybe your haunted house is purple, so you need purple bricks or something like that. Like, I think that's where AI can really help you customize what you want to do to like you. I was talking about my own escape room, how I wanted to mix like virtual reality, like wearing headsets, uploading your thoughts with like, family values. And that's something that I can't do very well on my own. Like, I need AI to help create the propaganda to do that. Or like donuts and syringes. Like, so when you really get into customizing your scene, these are the tools that are really going to help make it happen. All right, there we are. It's 10:07, so that was about an hour to do a little bit in CSM, and we can jump over and see if that maze has finished publishing. The first week we did a like kind of a club building. The second week we did parkour. Now we did a maze. So if you guys are following along and doing this, you could conceivably be like adding them each week to your land, and then eventually you're gonna have like a huge world that is gonna have all of this stuff on it. So, all right, I'm gonna take a second. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee. I'm gonna catch my breath from talking, and I'm gonna check our Discord. If anybody has questions, let me know. All of these models, CCO, is that the Creative Commons? Good question, Jay. I have not looked into that, but I'm guessing that that would be because it's, um, yeah, I'm guessing, but like, yeah, we should probably look at CSM. I'm sure that there's guidelines of like what you can do with it or not. My guess is that since you're paying for this, that is part of the licensing. I pay for a different service called Envato Elements, and it does like music and backgrounds and textures. Like now I kind of laugh because I pay like $250 a year because in the past that was how to get textures. Like I would also go around and take pictures of everything. I still do. I take pictures of like if there's a cool, tree trunk, I'll get a picture of that bark, but I'll make sure that it doesn't get dark on the side so that you can have a loop. Like actually the trees here that you see at the cantina, that is a picture I took of a palm tree in Arizona. I have a thing about palm trees. So yeah, like in the past, that was what got me all excited. Like, ooh, this texture is gonna look great because otherwise you would have to go to like image stock and then you'll get the watermark on the background. But then when I upgraded to like, ooh, I have this paid service where I can get these textures, now I'm like, oh, I don't need that anymore. Like I all I need is a really good AI tool. And it could just do anything. Like it can give me any texture I want and make it like weird as heck. Like if I need, like I was trying to do a path that would be like Halloween candy, but then randomly you would see skulls in like where there isn't a candy, it'd be like a skull. AI tried, like I think I needed to get my prompt working a little bit better on that. All right, let's see. I'm looking through any other questions. Let's see. Oh, JK's asking about spawn location. Jay, I have not dabbled with that, so I'm just going to be honest and say that might be a good Dr. Curlo question, or I'll try to figure it out. But Dr. Curlo does do the class on Thursday, so that might be like a good office hours question. Or if I can figure it out, I will let you know because I know it really does matter how you spawn into a scene because sometimes, especially if you have like a building, if you've got one parcel and it's square and your building is square and you spawn into the side of it, like you've got to compensate for that. So like I have, let's see. All right, I'm still in Creator Hub. I'm trying to be good. Sinful will see me, guys. If I minimize the screen, he's gonna know it. So I'm trying to do the Alt Tab thing because otherwise he'll make fun of me. All right, so here's my escape room scene that I'm just it's being weird. Slowly working on. And so if I had the corners that like if they were 90-degree angle corners that came right out to the edge, I would potentially trap my avatar in them. So my solution was to make rounded corners so that if you spawn in, actually it's funny, now I'm looking at it. I think they'll spawn in over here. And that's not what I want. I want them to spawn in here. Yeah, so that's a good question. I gotta figure that one out. Let's see. All right. Just figuring out which scene am I gonna be on while I'm sitting here chatting. Let me check in here. Oh, I forgot. I'm on two different Discords, so let's see if there's any questions. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just seeing this now. Jay, can I share in here as well? I should have done that, and I'm sorry. I am learning from Sinful how to stream, and I swear I feel old. I feel like my brain is like ready to combust with all these like you got to minimize this, maximize that. So I will figure out how to do that in a better way. Okay, so it looks like no other questions. So maybe I'll wrap it up, but I think that scene did publish and it's right behind the cantina. I think if I reload, it's not going to work, so I am going to have to do like a hard restart to Decentraland to go check that out. So I will be right back here, unless there's a better way. But I think right now that's the way it is. And with the big like everything that happened yesterday with Amazon Web Services going out, it's like I'm just glad that stuff is working. Oops, I think I shut my little creator hub thing down. We'll be back 1 second. Oh, Sin is watching me. He's gonna see me. Guys, falter and fail. Alright, I'm just gonna leave us on that one because that's just freaky. Alright, so I will get you the coordinates to that in just a second. I always want to try to build us on one parcel of land. Like I know people have other parcels of land by now, but I don't know, like one parcel is so good. If people can build on that, they can build. I think that's like the start of building blocks. All right, here we are. I am swapping over. If you want to join me and see my fail, it's at negative 147.98. And oh my gosh, I'm coming onto this scene and there's a bicycle. But it's too short. So I can see, I forgot, like with a maze. Oh, you know what? With a maze, the camera, you can cheat with the camera. Okay, back when I made a maze a long time ago, you could not do that with the camera, like get it high up above you. So I think if you do want to do this with a maze, make sure you put like a roof over it with a collider because a camera cannot get through the collider. It's actually funny. I'm making a new build that I want to have a collider, um, or I want to have a collider to like control what the avatar can do, but then I realize it controls the camera, and so I have like a collider cut out that controls the avatar but lets your camera escape, if that makes sense. So yeah, you guys are gonna find out my collider. You're gonna be like, haha, you had to make it small. So I would want to go back into the creator hub and then just make this a little taller or put like a giant cap on it. But for one parcel of land, like I think this is pretty cool. You can, if you're familiar with Blender, you can go and cut other little holes out of this. We will get to Blender eventually. Ooh, you could put something in here. Like if you're trying to do this for the hackathon, you could put something in here and then force all of your people, the people, like find the red balloon. Like they could be running around gathering balloons that Jimmy left behind. I always hope that I'm not giving away somebody's idea. Somebody might be like, "Are you kidding me? You're taking my idea. I wanted a Jimmy like running." Yeah, so this is behind the cantina. I will leave it up so everybody can, see it. It just gives you an idea to get started. Play around with CSM, have fun with it. Let me get up here so I can be back by everybody again. Reminder, you do have to be signed up for the hackathon to get the 95% off code for CSM, and that is coming today. I believe it is going to be emailed out to everybody that joins the hackathon. If you don't get an email, sorry, I'm like, talk to Tox. And then Tox is gonna have like 30 DMs. I'm sorry, but like, I'd say wait for the DM, and then if you don't see it, like she's definitely the person that can help us. Also, when you do go to sign up on their website, when I did it, they have a 50% off promo, which is cool. 50% off is awesome, but I like 95% off because I feel like a baller. Um, it kind of forces you to do the 50% off, so don't do that. I had to like search down at the bottom and look up pricing plans that wasn't part of that promotion. And then at the end, like you can pay with PayPal, and then it just like automatically, um, boom, like gives you savings. I don't know. It just felt so good to see the price go from $200 to $10. And then a reminder that there is the bounty, $600 in assets for the person who I guess best utilizes a CSM asset in their build. So the judges, I'm guessing they'll be looking out for that, and like yeah, like I can't wait to see what other people come up with. Probably gonna blow our minds. Yeah, and then tomorrow is a X Space live with the creators, or like the CSM brand, and so I think that they're going to have more information. Let me just jump over to CSM again. This is like what I have been able to learn with just a few days of looking at their assets, looking at their products. There's a lot that I haven't even gotten into. There's really good YouTube tutorials too that will show you how to kind of change up some of these assets, and create, build your own. But I just think like with this tool, I mean, Decentraland is going to look so different in a year if everybody starts putting this stuff on their scenes. So, and let's see. So here's my credits, just because I got usually AI programs, they run on credits, and then, when you're out, you have to buy more. So just to let you know, like everything that I built in the past few days, like this is a lot of different things that I was generating, because each one of these, asset packs opens up a whole slew of other prompts that I was working on. So all of that, like you can see down in the left hand side of the corner, or left hand side, yesterday I was like 1,010 credits. Today I'm at 958. So they're not, I mean, that's how much all of this costs. So I don't know how much each asset costs. I'm not sure exactly. Probably should find that out. But I think it does take you quite a ways. Oh, and let's not forget our clown that we had. We were waiting on his animation. So I believe this would, like the stretchy parts, would be considered like the weight painting issue. So you can go back in there and tweak it and like make sure that those don't happen. But good Lord, no. That's a hard no. I do not want this in my scene. That's so scary. Okay. So I hope that's been helpful. Any other questions? All right. Let's see. No questions in the Discord. No questions here. So yeah, I think we're good. I'm gonna get the heck away from this clown. Please let me know if you guys have questions. Got to figure out that question of where to spawn in. And otherwise, keep building. Let's see, tomorrow is the 8-week AMA that Decentraland does bright and early in the morning for me. So that's where we find out all the information about like the next cycle, like what they're going to introduce. So that's usually where all the alpha is. And then the X Space with CSM. And then I believe the next, let me just double check while I have a captive audience here, what is next on the hackathon tutorials, because those have been really helpful. Let's see. So, okay, in 5. All right, it doesn't say anything about who is guiding that specifically, so I'm not sure if it's Lastrom's. No, I think Lastrom's is on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday is also Dr. Krillo office hours, so there's still, like, to me, I kind of feel like It's easy to get lost if you're not sure where to go, like what to do next. And I don't want anyone to get lost. Um, so just make sure you're looking at those pages and reaching out, asking questions if you get stuck. Or if I know there was somebody as of yesterday that still didn't have a group. So if you need a group, reach out and we'll get you all building. Okay, thank you so much for everybody for being here. Yeah, and can't wait to see what you build. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sinful, for the streaming. And we'll talk to you guys again real soon. Bye.